This year marks the 100th anniversary of Guglielmo Marconi building the transatlantic radio campus overlooking Riders Cove as a critical part of his worldwide wireless network. To celebrate, the Chatham Marconi Maritime Center will open its second building on the site at 847 Orleans Road. The newly renovated Education Administration Center is complete and has two significant new exhibits. The former Hotel Nautilus, which housed site workers, including U.S. Navy operators during World War II, will feature a display showcasing wireless shark tracking and another on wireless automatic identification systems in the lobby exhibit area. Classrooms and administrative offices constitute the remainder of the 3,000 square feet of renovated space. Classrooms host ongoing evening and summer STEM education programs. Sitting across the expanded parking lot from the former hotel is the interactive museum building, which once housed the station's operations center. Here you will find exhibits tracing the station's storied history, along with the development of wireless radio technology, a video theater, and a gift shop. Under the Radio Corporation of America, RCA, and known by the call letters WCC, the center, during most of the 20th century, was the busiest ship-to-shore station on the East Coast. In addition to relaying all types of commercial and personal messages to ships around the world, WCC provided communications to aviators including Charles Lindbergh, Amelia Earhart, and Howard Hughes. During the Second World War, the Navy operated the Chatham facility as Secret Station C, with a mission to locate and intercept coded messages from enemy submarines and surface ships. This turned out to be a key factor in winning the Battle of the North Atlantic. Interactive exhibits, including one designed to teach basic Morse code, highlight videos of Marconi's life, the role of WCC in world events, including the sinking of the Titanic, and authentic shipboard radio from the hospital ship SS Hope, artifacts from important periods in WCC's history, and the opportunity for visitors to view the station's operational amateur radio station, WA1 WCC. The repurposed and newly renovated hotel grand opening ribbon cutting and centennial celebration will be Saturday, June 21st at 10 a.m. The new Education Center facility and museum is open free to the public on Saturday after 10 a.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m. during Chatham History Weekend, June 21st and 22nd. Regular museum admission remains $5, children under 10 years of age free for the 2014 season, with the following schedule: June 24th through August 31st, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays, 1 to 4 p.m. The center is closed Mondays, September 3rd through October 12th, and Wednesday through Sunday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'm sitting here with Mr. Chuck Bartlett, president of the Chatham Marconi Maritime Center. And we're going to talk a little bit today about what goes on here at the museum, and Chuck will introduce us to an overview of things happening. Welcome, Chuck.
Well, welcome, Huntley. We're delighted that you're here today. The Chatham Marconi Maritime Center is dedicated to the history and education of wireless communication over the years. And our perspective clearly is the Marconi radio station here in North Chatham.
Okay. I understand that the Maritime Center has leased and renovated a second building on the site. Why was that important for the Maritime Center to do that?
Well, it was important because we leased this building that you're in now, what's called the operating building, back in 2010. And we installed exhibits, and when we were done, we discovered we had no more room left in the building. We have a small audio-visual room to show people videos and a small office, but we had no way to expand the exhibits or start up our education program.
And why is this an important year for the Marconi Maritime Center and the history of the station?
Well, it's important because it's the 100th anniversary of the building of the station, which was in 1914. And the Marconi Corporation built 4 stations in that year. And The building was fairly straightforward, but then bringing the station online was got more involved because the First World War came along.
Ah.
And so we tell a little bit about that story in the next building, which is the hotel building. And what we have over there is room for an expanded exhibits and an education center.
Oh, I see. And I understand that during the Chatham History Weekend, you have a big celebration going on here. And just out of curiosity, do you have any celebrities coming to help celebrate?
Well, you know, we were very fortunate. I got an email from a professor at Rutgers University saying that he had befriended Guglielmo Marconi's youngest daughter, Elettra Marconi, when he was in Rome, and she was coming over here in late June. And she said, if I'm coming to the United States, I want to go to Cape Cod. And she had friends at the Wellfleet Station and here. So she's going to join us the weekend of our celebration. And she's a charming person and just absolutely lights up the room when she comes in.
Well, that's wonderful.
So we're looking forward to having her here.
Oh, I bet. You know, and I know that in the summertime you have children come into the Education Center for a STEM program. And tell us a little bit about the STEM program that you're going to be running.
Well, STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And that's clearly sort of right in line with the kind of things that we're pursuing here at the Marconi Center. And so this will be our first summer for a summer science program, and we'll hold it in our education room next door. We have a brochure about the courses. There are a total of 6 courses that we're offering for children entering grades 4 through 9. And each course lasts for a week. It's a half day. The brochure, which you see here, can be seen online at the www.chathammarconi.org. And you can see the brochure and the courses, and they range from an astronomy course, marine STEM mania course, 2 robotics courses, and a chemistry course and a communications course.
Oh, that's marvelous. What a great opportunity.
Very exciting, and they're run by some of the wonderful teachers here in the local school system.
Oh, that's great. What a wonderful opportunity for them. And you know, speaking of the local school system, I understand that the antenna field has a new trail through it, which was kind of repurposed, I guess, by Elijah Eldridge as a Eagle Scout project. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're very excited about that. Of course, you know, an important part of any radio station is the antennas that are there, and a good part of the 13 acres here was taken up by antennas. And so we now have, thanks to Elijah, a walking trail that takes you up to the top of the hill. You can see the remnants of the old 350-foot mast that was there that held antennas throughout much of the life of the station. And you can see a couple of our new antennas that we've got up there for our exhibits. So
well, that's great.
It's a nice little, it's a little exercise. You have to walk up the hill, but it's a nice view at the top.
But that'll be great for people to do this summer. Well, I thank you for that overview. And we're going to move on with Mr. Dick Kraser, who's going to tell us a little bit about the role of the museum during World War II and a little bit more about some of the history of the museum. I'm here with Dick Kraser, Executive Director of the Marconi Maritime Center, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the museum itself. Dick?
Well, thank you very much. The Marconi RCA Wireless Museum is a very popular place with visitors. We start you out with close to a half an hour of different videos. You don't have to see them all at one time, but they're professionally produced and tell much of the story of the station. There are 7 exhibits in this building. They're not simply just things to look at, but you have to sit, spend a little time, work at the touch screens, design the exhibit for yourself. People that come here spend at least 3 hours, and most people that come in run out of time before they run out of things to do. We have exhibits that help you learn about Morse code. We have exhibits that explain how shipboard communication took place for over 50 years from this particular station. We talk about World War II, when this place was closed down and the Navy took over spying on submarines and Admiral Dernitz's headquarters in Germany during a time that was very important because of submarines that were attacking our merchant ships right off the coast here of Cape Cod. We have other exhibits in the other building. This building focuses on the history during the time that the station was in operation, but in the other building, we are focusing on communication of the future and how devices communicate with other devices as we move from people talking to people to cars talking to other cars to sharks talking to satellites, if you will. How do we know where Mary Lee is currently swimming in the ocean? We talk about the programs that watch ships and ship traffic off the coast, how ships can avoid each other and their captains can understand what other traffic is available. We hope that you'll enjoy your visit here, and we look forward to your visit.
Well, thank you, Dick. That's very important information, and I'm sure that the summer will be very busy for the museum, and hopefully I'll get a chance to come over myself.
Well, I invite you all to come, and please enjoy yourself while you're here.
Well, thank you. We're going to move now to an interview with Frank Messina, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the new Nautilus renovation of the Nautilus Hotel.
Welcome. Come on in.
Well, we're here in the Hotel Nautilus with Frank Messina, Vice President of the Chatham Marconi Maritime Center. And he's going to give us a brief tour of what goes on at the Hotel Nautilus and a little history of the building. Frank?
No, thank you very much. Thanks for visiting us. Well, it was a hotel, the Hotel Nautilus. It was built in 1914 as part of the whole campus of buildings that Marconi built, one of the multiple stations he was hoping to put all over the world. But during 1914, there weren't too many hotels or holiday inns, so the single men, had to have some place to live, and that was the purpose of this, in fact, this hotel. The construction of it was by a very famous architect builder, someone called J.G. White, and he built major industrial buildings all over the country. Well, this particular room that we're in right now is the living room of the hotel. And as you can see, the architecture was typical of what was going on around the turn of the century. And the men actually spent their leisure time in this living room. To our right, there was a pool room with the billiards, no television back at that time, and the entertainment was billiards. So the Chatham Marconi Maritime Center, in taking over this building and doing a major renovation, now are going to utilize this building as our function room, and we will have major exhibits in addition to the exhibits which you saw in our museum. We can walk over here. I'll give you a quick walkthrough, a sneak preview.
All right.
Okay. As you see here in this particular room, which was the former billiard room, we're going to have 3 major exhibits. We're going to primarily focus on our great white shark exhibit. Again, not from the biology of sharks, but communication between the transponders which are mounted on the sharks and how they're tracked. In addition to shark tracking, we're also going to have an exhibit on a new system called AIS, Automatic Identification System. It's a system that all major boats and even recreational boats will have, which will allow them to communicate with one another and get history of where the boat is, what it's doing, and where it's planning to go. Our third exhibit, which is not yet, as you can see, everything kind of here is in a draft situation, is we hope to have a Phantom II UAV, unmanned vehicle, and we hope to be able again show the multiple phases of communication with wireless and GPS and cell communication within those particular items.
Now, let me ask you a question about this. Will the students in the STEM program be learning a little bit about unmanned aerial vehicles and perhaps even have a drone that they might be able to utilize and learn how to play with, so to speak?
That's exactly what we plan on doing. We're going to have a couple of drones here. We're going to be, quite candidly, learning ourselves and then have classes with students as we teach them how they operate and how they communicate.
What a great experience for the kids.
Right.
Absolutely.
If you take a quick look here, you could see a rendering of what we planned for the hotel This particular room, which I talked about being the living room of the facility, will be our large conference area. So we'll be able to get 60, 70 people in here for conferences. We have a major state-of-the-art projection system, so we can show videos and have lectures. But key to this building, because we call it the Education Center, is that room on the other side, which in fact was the dining room of the hotel.
Oh, okay, well, let's go there now. This is nicely redone. It
Yes,
really
we
is.
tried very hard to preserve as much of the interior architecture and design. The windows are all original, the doors, the floors, everything restored.
Yeah, let's go in.
Kind of sparse right now because we're just setting up, but this will be the classroom where I think Chuck Bartlett, our president, mentioned to you about our STEM program. So this is going to be the classroom where the students will be conducting the summer education program, our after-school and evening education program. And we hope to have, not hope to have, we plan on having state-of-the-art communication and a Promethean board, which will allow the students to interact from their tablets.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'd like to show you something just to give you another sense of the building as a hotel. This is an interesting artifact, actually, for those of you who watched Upstairs, Downstairs, and Downton Abbey. And this was the call board that was in the hotel. There were 15 rooms on the second floor, and this is how the various occupants would be able to communicate back to the people who were running the hotel. So it's a call guard. It's really an interesting artifact. So we hope to utilize the building not only for our education center, but also to be able to actually rent out and lease the facility. In fact, there are a couple of events that are going to be happening here during the summer to other groups in Chatham.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful. What a good idea. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for coming to visit us.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And that'll be it for now from Chatham Today and the Chatham Marconi Maritime Center. Thank you for watching.